Well, good afternoon, shipmates, and welcome into the show. Uh, Sporting the Astros gear this morning because, my hometown Houston Astros won in dramatic fashion yesterday against the Seattle Mariners, a walk-off three-run homer. So I don't know if any of you folks out there are sports fans like I am, but that was a pretty awesome game yesterday. A lot of good games yesterday, but I was definitely, jumping up and down at the end of that game yesterday. So just wanted to give a quick shout out for that. And so what we're going to be talking about today, a lot of times people are on the interwebs, if you will, are curious about excursions. Should I book an excursion? Should I not do an excursion? What kind of excursion? So I just figured that, I would review some of the excursions that I've been on, and that way kind of give you an idea of how much it costs, and what we did during that excursion, kind of give you a feel for it. So maybe might help you out, in your future cruise planning. So with that, I think today we're going to talk about the Xunantunich, I believe is the name, the way you pronounce that. That's the way the tour guide pronounced it. The Xunantunich pyramid excursion that they have in Belize. And I went on this excursion back in July of 2021. I was on the Carnival Vista. I booked the excursion through the Carnival website, and it was $99 for adults. And I'm going to post the information up here for you so you can see it. And, it was, I like to do, me personally, I like to do kind of historical kind of excursions, something that highlights, things in the area, things from that country, whatever country we're visiting. And so I thought it would be a neat one. Plus, I had been on a previous excursion to the I believe it's the Lamini or Lomini pyramids. I'll have to get the pronunciation cleared up, and that was back in 2019, also through Carnival, and it was also in Belize, and it was a really awesome one. So I thought I'd do this one. And so basically, anybody that's been to Belize before knows that when you go to Belize, you basically anchor out, and then you take tender boats into the port. And so that's what happened with this on this occasion. And basically, if you had booked an excursion, they would have you meet down in the theater at a certain time, pretty early in the morning. And a Carnival excursion representative would, basically get you priority access onto the tenders because they want to make sure that you are not late for your excursion. So that was kind of awesome. So you take the tender in, and then once you get to the port, they'll tell you to meet up at a certain location. So we all did, which was they had like a little bus area out beside the little shop area. And so the excursion representative, the tour guide, met us there, gave us, because I think that day was supposed to get some rain. And so he gave us an opportunity to go to the shops and purchase some rain gear, insect repellent, and that. Plus, that with all the vendors, they know that people are going on excursions, so they kind of came to us, and they had the stuff right there. So that was pretty convenient. So then after that, you get on the tour bus, and it was a pretty lengthy ride. I believe it was, I want to say an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour ride out to the pyramids. And basically for that one, you take the tour bus out to a certain area and get off, and then you get on a ferry because there was a river separating it. So it was a short little ferry ride, real quick, to the other side of the river. Then they had vans to shuttle us up to the actual pyramid area. And once you get to the pyramid area, They had a little shop there that you could buy some water or whatever you needed. They had some restrooms, and then he kind of gave us a little break because we had just traveled so far. And then he takes you up to the pyramid area, which that particular the Xunantunich pyramids, you actually kind of have to hike up this pretty steep hill. So if you've got mobility issues, that's definitely going to may not be the excursion for you. It's like I say, it was kind of a gravel road. It was kind of steep, and so once and keep in mind this was back in 2021 last year, and so we were wearing masks. It was the middle of summer, hot, humid, sweating. So by the time we got up to the top of the hill where the pyramids were, I was almost already winded. And then the tour guide, and all during this whole process, the tour guide is giving you some historical facts about the area, giving you, telling you what each pyramid it was used for, and all that kind of stuff. And so he takes you up to the top of the hill. He kind of gives you the overall view of the place, gives you some of the history, and then at one point, he takes you up to the top of one of the pyramids, which also, once again, was pretty challenging. I'll say. I mean, I'm not in the worst shape, but I'm not the best shape either. Excuse me. And so yeah, it was kind of challenging getting up to the top. These giant steps. They're not like regular stairs that you count in your day-to-day travels here. These are like huge stone steps. So you almost had to like use your hands and knees and everything to get up on these things. But eventually I got to the top. Once you get to the top, there's all kinds of not awesome panoramic views. A lot of opportunities for photographs and that, things of that nature. So all in all, the pyramid experience at the actual pyramids, at the ruins, was awesome. It just, is basically the kind of tour that I like to take. So, and also to note, they did bring along some like paramedic type people that had all kinds of first aid. So I don't know if these were actually paramedics, but they were medical professionals that they bring with the tour group. So in case somebody was having a heat casualty or something, they could help you out. So I thought that was pretty awesome also. So you wind up everything at the pyramids, you get done, you go back down, get in the vans, cross back over on the ferry, and then you get back on the bus. And then also, like right there where the buses were parked, there was a bunch of shops, a bunch of vendors, so you could pick up some souvenirs if you wanted to. So a good little opportunity for shopping there. And so after that, you get back on the bus, and then before heading back to the cruise ship, we stopped off and had a lunch at a local restaurant, which was, it was included in the price. If you wanted, they did have like beer and stuff like that for sale, and obviously if you wanted that, you'd have to pay out of pocket, but it was really cheap. It wasn't expensive at all. And the meal was basically a traditional meal that you would get, if you were a local there. I mean, I believe it was like some sort of baked chicken with some spices on it, some rice, beans. I think they even had corn on the cob. And then there was a dessert, which I don't quite remember what the dessert was. But all in all, it was a complete meal. And I thought it was pretty good. And so then you get back on the bus, and it's another hour back. I think most people kind of, nodded off on the way back, but we did get rained on a little bit, not much. It wasn't enough to ruin the experience. And also on the tour, on the tour bus, going to and from the pyramids, you have the tour guide, and he's pointing out things along the way as you're traveling, giving you the history of the country of Belize and the area and things of that nature, what the economy's like, what the day-to-day life is like. So I have to say it was an awesome excursion. I know some people don't like to take those long bus rides to and from excursions and things like that, but I didn't mind it. Like I say, I'm the type of person that I like to go and learn more about the local culture and see some historical areas and things of that nature. So it was right up my alley. So no complaints from me on that. And so basically the way, the tour ends up, they take you right back to the cruise port, and plenty of time to get back on the tender and get back on board, in time for a final boarding call. So yeah, I highly recommended it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you get the opportunity, if you're into that kind of stuff, $100 for a whole day's worth of activities, meal included. I don't know. I think it was worth it. But if any of you guys have done an excursion like that, let me know. If you've done that particular excursion, let me know your thoughts. If you got any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And other than that, that's all I got for today. So go Stros, and fair winds and following seas.